Hi everybody, how lovely to see you. It's been a while. Now I've been told by Mrs. Hares and Mr. Smith and Mr. Fallows that they're really enjoying the new book and that you've met all the main characters of the story of Wizard of Oz now. So I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen in the next part of the story. So we're on chapter 8 and it's one bad situation after another. We all thought nothing could ever be more dangerous than the cruel Kalidas, but none of us reckoned with poppies. Yes, poppies. Little puppies. I am not kidding you. And first we had to cross a raging river and rescue poor Scarecrow, which wasn't easy either. But I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Mustn't do that. Now, where was I? Oh yes, things were pretty good. We followed the yellow brick road for quite a while, and it led us gradually out of the dark of the forest and into the bright sunlight and grassy, flowery meadows with singing birds and fruit trees humming with bees. There was lots of fruit to eat now, plums and pears, peaches, all we wanted, all Dorothy wanted anyway. She's crazy about fruit. It was better than nuts, made a change at least, but Lion and me, we had hunting on our minds. There were rabbits everywhere now, and deer flitting through the trees. Dorothy didn't like me catching rabbits, and Tin Woodman and Scarecrow would have been very sad if Lion had brought back a deer to eat. Both of us knew that. So both of us ate fruit and had to be happy with it. But whenever I lay down to sleep, I dreamed of rabbits. Rabbits for me were almost as good as sausages, and Lion dreamed of deer. He told me so. For days and days we walked on down the yellow brick road until one morning we came to a rushing river with no bridge across it. Not that we could see anyway. We just had to get over it somehow. There, on the other side, the yellow brick road began again. The road that would take us to the Emerald City and the Great Wizard of Oz. How are we ever going to cross this? Dorothy said, shaking her head. Toto can swim, but I can't. Scarecrow scratched his head for a moment or two, and we knew then that he was going to come up with one of his brilliant ideas. Simple, he said. A no-brainer. A raft. Tin Woodman cuts down a tree or two, and we build a raft. So that's what we all did, and that was how we came to find ourselves a while later floating across the river. Tin Woodman and Scarecrow, each with a long pole pushing us, guiding us towards the far bank. But we soon realised we were in trouble. We weren't floating across the river. We were being carried down it. Scarecrow and Tin Woodman were doing their best with their poles, pushing with all their might, but it was no use. The current was sweeping us downstream, and the water was running faster and faster all of the time, swirling us round and round. "Oh no," cried Tin Woodman, "we shall end up in the river, or worse still, in the land of the Wicked Witch of the West, and she, just like the Wicked Witch of the East, was before we squashed her, Dorothy. She makes bad magic. There never was a wickeder witch. She'll make us her slaves. Then we'll never get to see the Great Wizard of Oz, and we'll never have I'll never have a new heart." "And I'll never have the courage I should have," said the Lion. "And I will never have any brains," said the Scarecrow. "We have to push harder, Tin Woodman, as hard as we can." And with that, Scarecrow plunged his pole deep into the river, down into the mud, and pushed with all his might. But there it stuck fast. Scarecrow should have let go of his pole, but he didn't. He wouldn't. So he found himself clinging onto the pole in the middle of the swirling river, watching us drift further and further away from him on the raft. "We have to save him," Dorothy cried. "First we have to save ourselves," said the Lion. "I shall swim for the bank. Tin Woodman, you hang on to the tip of my tail. I will dive in and pull the raft across. Whatever you do, don't let go of my tail." So the Tin Woodman grabbed his tail and in Lion jumped. I could see at once he needed some help. I barked at Dorothy and she understood right away. If Lion can swim in that swirling river, I thought, then so can I. Dorothy knelt down on the edge of the raft, grabbed my tail, and in I jumped after Lion. Soon I was paddling for the shore like crazy alongside him. I was getting pretty puffed out, I can tell you, but somehow we made it across the river in the end, towing that raft with Dorothy and Tin Woodman on board all the way. Our troubles were by no means over, though. We may have reached the other side, but we drifted a long way downstream by now. There was no sign of poor Scarecrow clinging to his pole in the middle of the river. No sign either of the yellow brick road. It was not a good situation. "We have to find Scarecrow and rescue him," cried Dorothy. "We can't go on without Scarecrow. We just can't." "Well, there's only one thing to do," said Lion, who was shaking himself dry in the sun, showering us all, and somehow making at the same time a great rainbow around his mane and head, like a rainbow crown it was. "If we walk back along the river," he went on, "we should soon find him, and the yellow brick road as well." I shook myself dry, hoping to make a rainbow too, but I didn't, because I didn't have a mane. I so wanted to be like Lion, to be brave like him, roar like him, have big teeth like him, make rainbows like him. When he bounded off along the riverbank, I followed him. We all did, all of us worrying we might be too late, that Scarecrow might already have been swept away. As we came round a bend in the river, I saw him first. "Help!" Scarecrow was crying. "Help me, please! I can't hold on much longer." He was slipping down the pole, his feet already almost in the water. All of us looked at one another. There was nothing we could do to save him. He was too far away. The river was running too fast. We were too late. Just then, a most wonderful thing happened. Floating down on his great wide white wings, there came a stork. He landed right beside us on the riverbank. "You all seem rather upset," he said. "Is there anything I can do?" "Oh, our dear friend Scarecrow," Dorothy explained. "He's stuck out there in the river on that pole and we can't help him." "Scarecrow, you say?" the stork said. "We birds don't usually like scarecrows, but he looks like a nice sort of scarecrow, so I'll rescue him for you if that is what you would like. He's only made of straw. He shouldn't be too heavy. Come on, Wings, do your thing. Off I go. Up, up, up and away." The stork lifted off, and with a few strong beats of his wings, he was hovering out over the pole in the middle of the river. He grasped Scarecrow by his arm, then carried him back, setting him down gently in amongst us. I never in my life saw so much hugging. Tin Woodman cried, and Dorothy had to dry his tears quickly, oiling him again before his jaw went stiff on him. I leapt up into Dorothy's arms and joined in all the hugging, only I do licking a lot better than hugging. Lion was up on his hind legs, his huge paws on Tin Woodman's shoulders, smiling toothily, very toothily. Luckily, he had his claws hidden away, else he would have scratched Tin Woodman all over. The stork hopped up and down, cackling crackling all the while. I like to make people happy, he cried, but I must go now. There are babies waiting for me in my nest. So long, you guys. Be happy. We will be, cried Dorothy. Thank you ever, ever, ever so much. Off he flew, and Dorothy clapped her hands. Let's not waste time, she cried. Up we get and off we go. I woofed and the others laughed. They loved me woofing. On we went along the river, Scarecrow arm in arm with Tin Woodman and Dorothy, all of us smiling, all of us searching for the yellow brick road. This was the most beautiful countryside we had been through. Brilliantly coloured flowers and butterflies and birds wherever we looked. We were all so happy to be together again and on the right side of the river. So when we saw the field of red poppies on the hillside ahead of us, and beyond it the yellow brick road, we cheered and barked and roared and clapped and clanked, all of it with joy. Never had we seen a prettier sight. All we had to do was cross that poppy field and we'd be on the way again to the Emerald City and to the great and terrible Wizard of Oz. Head high the poppies were for me as we walked up over the hillside. Dorothy kept rubbing her eyes and yawning as she went, which I thought was rather odd. She was obviously quite sleepy, and then suddenly I was too, and the lion was as well, which I also thought was rather odd. He was yawning. I never saw so many teeth in all my life, but I was so too tired to care. When Dorothy lay down to sleep, I lay down beside her. Tin Woodman kept trying to shake us, to wake us up, to help us back to our feet. You mustn't go to sleep. You mustn't. It's the poppies making you sleep. You go to sleep now. You'll never wake up. Up on your feet. We have to walk on, he was shouting at us, shaking us. But our eyes felt heavy. I could hardly keep them open. Everything began to go dark. I like poppies, I heard Lion mumbling. He was lying down right beside me, but his voice seemed far, far away, as if it was a dream. Toto and Dorothy are falling asleep, so I will too. I'll have a nice long sleep. I think I could sleep forever. Up, up, Lion, cried Scarecrow. On your feet! And he was pushing at Lion with all his might, shaking him and shaking him. Tin Woodman was helping him too. It's the poppies! They're making you sleepy. We have to get out of this poppy field before it's too late. Tin Woodman and me. We can carry Dorothy and Toto, but we can't carry you, Lion. You are too heavy for us. Don't you feel sleepy too? Murmured Lion. The scent of the poppies cannot affect us, said Tin Woodman. There are some advantages of being made of straw and tin. Please get up, Lion, please. I felt myself being lifted up and carried then. I don't know if it was Tin Woodman or Scarecrow who got me out of there, but get us out they did, me and Dorothy both. All I know is that when we woke some time later, we were lying in soft grass by the river, a gentle breeze wafting us awake. Tin Woodman was there, kneeling over us, Scarecrow too. But when I woke up properly, I looked around and there was no sign of Lion anywhere. Where's Lion? Dorothy asked, sitting up. What's happened to him? He's lying out there in the field of poppies, fast asleep, said Scarecrow sadly. But he won't last long, I'm afraid. Stay there in amongst those deadly poppies and you never wake up. We couldn't carry him out, Dorothy, Tin Woodman told her. Lion is too heavy. Scarecrow and me, we tried and we tried. We couldn't move him. We may not be seeing Lion again, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry, Dorothy. And that's the end of the chapter. Oh dear, I wonder if they will get Lion out of the poppies. you'll have to wait and see, and till chapter 9 tomorrow night. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a great time at home. I'm really sorry that I'm not seeing you very much, but I will try and read a chapter each week to you. So keep tuning in. I'm really loving this story. Hope you are too. All right. See you soon. Bye.